I'm Angela Shelf Medearis, and I'm the Kitchen Diva. Woo! I have a fabulous Diva-style coleslaw recipe that you're really going to enjoy. Since so many African Americans have diabetes, this is a healthier take on a traditional coleslaw recipe. Now, I have some secret ingredients in this coleslaw that is guaranteed to make your Juneteenth celebration not only delicious, but a healthy success. Now, for the first part of this fabulous Diva-style Juneteenth coleslaw recipe, we're going to make what I call a hot dressing. And basically, this dressing is made up of two essential ingredients. One is apple cider vinegar, and the other is agave syrup. Agave syrup and apple cider vinegar are both great ways to keep your blood glucose levels in balance. And what they do is that because they're a low glycemic index level, they don't spike up your sugar. So if you have diabetes or if you just want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, these are two great ingredients. And they also make a delicious, delicious dressing for our coleslaw. So we're going to add in about a cup or so of our apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to eyeball it. And we're going to put in about half a cup of our agave syrup. And it tastes sort of like a cross between honey and I guess it doesn't have a maple flavor, but honey and just sort of a syrup. It has a really, really delicious taste, and because it's a natural product, it's great to use in something like this. Then we're going to add in our spices. And we have our dry mustard, Italian seasoning, a little dill, some salt, and we're going to add in some pepper also, and our oil. So I'm just going to put in a little bit, maybe a teaspoon or so of each one of these into our hot dressing. And the best thing to do, of course, is to go ahead and add in the spices and then taste it after it's cooked a little while. So I'm going to add those in. And then we're going to add in our oil, and this is just plain old vegetable oil. And you can use canola oil, vegetable oil. I wouldn't use olive oil because there's so many flavors in here that the olive oil might overpower some of those. So we want sort of a neutral flavored oil. So we're going to put those in. And then we're going to add in our pepper. And honey, that is basically it. You can whip this up the night before because the longer the coleslaw sits, the better it tastes. So that's another great thing about this coleslaw. And because there's no mayonnaise, you don't have to worry about any sort of food problems with the coleslaw going bad or the mayonnaise going bad in the hot Texas heat during your Juneteenth festivities. There's no better way to ruin a party than to have some bad coleslaw. So we're going to go ahead and pop this into the microwave, and then we'll proceed on with the rest of our recipe. So for our Diva-style Juneteenth coleslaw, we have some really special ingredients that make it delicious and nutritious. Of course, we have our cabbage, and cabbage is really, really good for you. And because this is basically raw, it keeps all the nutrients, it keeps that crunch, it's just really, really good. And this is a coleslaw that can stay in the refrigerator for up to 2 weeks if you keep it in an airtight container. So, honey, you don't have to just have it for Juneteenth. You can top a hamburger with it, use it as a side salad for your regular dinner. It's delicious anytime. And we're also going to add in some carrots, which add a delicious crunch and some sweetness because we're trying to avoid the usual cup of sugar to cup and a half of sugar that goes into typical coleslaws. And the way that we can do that is take vegetables and fruits like this apple that are naturally sweet and also have a crunch to them. So I've used a green apple and also a sort of a snacking apple combined together to give it that sweetness and that crunch. And of course, you're also getting a little fruit, which is never a bad thing. So we're going to put that in. We're going to mix all these together. We have our celery, which is delicious and adds a nice crunch to the salad. We're going to put in some garlic, which is very, very good for you. And the Diva just loves her some garlic. So it's usually some garlic in everything except for dessert, if the Diva's fixing it. We have red bell pepper. Red bell pepper is the best bell pepper to use because it's the highest in vitamin C. So if you're going to get a bell pepper, I know that they're a little bit pricier, but they're well worth it because they're so very high in vitamin C. So that's just another added nutritional benefit to using that, and it makes for a beautiful salad. And then last but not least are our onions, and these will sort of wilt down because the dressing that we made with the agave and the vinegar and the oil is hot. These will wilt down. We're using a Texas sweet or either a purple onion, your choice, but you want a sweet onion so that it'll also add sweetness to your salad. and we can avoid all that sugar. Okay, so we have all our ingredients, and I'm going to set these to one side and use our little tongs to mix our salad up. Little hands here, little salad hands. Or you can use your own hands as long as they're just perfectly clean. But these work real well. So I'm just going to mix these together and see how pretty and beautiful and easy this was. You can also add a little more of the same spices you use in your dressing if you'd like to this. It's just your preference. But you might want to pour your dressing on, let it sit for a minute, and then taste it and correct the seasonings after it's had a chance to sit up for a while and what we call marry, so that we know all the flavors are right. So we've got this just about mixed up, and that's looking good. Woo! And this is going to be delicious. And for a very, very small amount of money, you can feed quite a few people with this coleslaw recipe. All right, so now we're going to add in this hot dressing, which was made up of dry mustard, the salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, some agave syrup, and also the apple cider vinegar and some oil. And we're going to pour that over this and mix it again. And then you refrigerate it overnight, or even if you refrigerate it for 4 hours, it gives it a chance to wilt a little bit, for all the flavors to get combined, for all the sweetness to come out of the vegetables. It's just a good dish. What can I say? So whether you have concerns about diabetes, if you are trying to watch your weight, if you're just a person who wants a healthy dish, or if you just want an easy dish for a holiday or any day, this fabulous Diva style coleslaw is the recipe for you. Try it. You'll love it.